Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So, hopefully everyone is doing well. Let me know as you all come into the room, and I am just getting a few other things set up here as y'all come in. And also I am using my new mic. Well, I've used it before, but y'all just let me know like what y'all think about the sound, and I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit and we'll see what's what. But hey Helena, hey Lost Generations. So we're gonna let people slowly come into the room. While you're doing that, I want to remind you that you can get this cute little hey y'all mugs at the link below in my bio. I also have those anti-status and entertainers are not leaders tees that are available as well. So make sure that you check those out. Hey La Cobra, hey Edward, hey Derek. So glad to know that everyone is doing well, and of course I'm happy to talk to y'all every Tuesday. So all right, y'all. I was trying to find one more video that I wanted to show y'all, but let me see if I can even find it. Okay, y'all, so there's some things that have been going on as usual. This year is passing by so quickly. Okay, found it. This year is passing by so quickly that it is crazy. We are really close to 2021. And this year has been a very interesting one. Hopefully, if you're anything like me, you've learned a lot about the world, the government, family, friends, yourself, most importantly. But it's just been really interesting. And so, as we go into 2021, I just really want to go ahead and take this time to tell y'all thank you to my long-term subscribers and my new ones. Thank y'all for supporting my content. I'm really excited about you know what? It's something really interesting. It's something really like cool and also unnerving about like the unknown. But the really good part, I think, about the unknown is that we have another chance to live and try something new and look forward to and create other things. And so I don't know, I'm really excited about that part. I'm already thinking about some goals that I'm working on now and things I'm going to work on in 2021. That doesn't even sound right. You see how I'm still saying 2020, 2021. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to share some of those things with y'all as time goes on. Edward said this year has been a real eye-opener. That is so absolutely true. It's so true. So, but all right, y'all. So let's go ahead and jump into tonight a couple of topics that I want to talk about. So first, I wanted to briefly mention, and let me pull this up so y'all can see it too. I wanted to briefly mention, I'm not gonna go too deep into it tonight because I have not read up on the actual legislation. I'm hearing that there may be some problems within this bill, and so I want to do my due diligence to know what's really going on with it. But as of now, this is according to USA Today. House of Representatives passes marijuana legalization bill. The Democratic-controlled House of Representatives passed legislation legalizing marijuana at the federal level Friday, the first time either chamber of Congress has voted on the matter. The bill, the MORE Act, passed by a mostly party line 228 to 164 vote. The Republican-controlled Senate is unlikely to take up the legislation. How they know that? The measure, sponsored by Representative Jerry Nadler, will remove marijuana from the federal list of controlled substances and expunge some marijuana-related criminal records. It will still be up to the states to pass their own regulations on the sale of marijuana. Nadler said in a statement the legislation would help address the mistake of marijuana's criminalization and its racially disparate enforcement. This long overdue legislation will reverse the failed policy of criminalizing marijuana on the federal level and will take steps to address the heavy toll this policy has taken across the country, particularly on communities of color. So this goes on to talk about the higher rates that particularly Black people are taken to jail for marijuana possession and things like this. And so I thought this was pretty interesting. They had kind of been floating this around for a little while, hinting at it here and there. I kind of think that it's quite obvious that they tried to put it off until after the election, for whatever reason that you may like theorize that they did that. I have my, guess or whatever. But the House has passed that. Now, y'all know that I have talked about we've talked about these things as far as decriminalizing, particularly decriminalizing marijuana. This has come up as I've talked about things like the First Steps Act and other things like that. And yes, y'all know that I absolutely support the decriminalization of marijuana, allowing these on a federal level, allowing the states to make those decisions. Okay. And honestly, I've been seeing some of the discussions around this, and I find it funny. And I also find it odd that some of these same people who are always talking about leave it up to the states, leave it up to the states, leave it up to the states, are now having problem with this type of federal legislation. I also find it odd that any people that could support the Second Amendment on the basis that gun control doesn't work could try to turn around and pretend that drug control does. That just absolutely makes no sense to me. I think it's beyond hypocritical. I would much rather prefer that people just be honest with themselves and come out and say, well, because of my personal religious beliefs, I would like to control your life in this facet. That would be way more honest than trying to act like prohibition has worked in this way, trying to act like the drug war has been successful, because it has not. So I just find it very hypocritical. Some of the discussions around this, we already know that you have people that maybe using marijuana, maybe using cannabis. I just forgot my thought, y'all. I forgot what I was about to say. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, I totally support the feds getting out of this. I don't think you should have anything to do with this. I think it should be left up to the states. And like I said, we already know that people are doing this, whether it is legal or not. Now, I've talked about drug use as it relates to the decision that recently came out in Oregon, where I think they decriminalized like majority of the drugs or all of the drugs or something like that. But I've made it, also my position clear on that is that this idea of trying to control what people are trying to do, like doing inside of their home when there are no violent crimes or an actual victim or anything like that, I think it is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Also, I brought up the religion thing earlier because for some of my devout religious people, whether it's Christian or whatever else there may be, that feel like, you want to dictate certain things based on your own beliefs. There's such a big push for legislation and to rule and to have this authority over others. And some of these same people do not want to be a light, do not want to be an example, do not want to present certain things in a way or their lifestyles in a way that makes it influential. Right? People always talk about how a lot of the conservative, traditional values are being lost to like mainstream culture, pop culture, and these type of things. And I'm thinking like, how about actually trying to make these things relatable, putting them in practice, and showing that through example instead of just force and control? I just have not seen any evidence of that actually working. We can see that in terms of gun control. We can see that in terms of drug control. We can see that in terms of other level of control. So that's mostly what I have to say about that. I am going to look more into this legislation because oftentimes we know that government is government, and a lot of times they are corrupt. They will sneak other things into these bills. And so they may be doing some very nefarious things here from some things that I have seen on Twitter. But of course, I want to do my own research that I haven't gotten a chance to exactly do yet. But I am going to be doing that so I can present more of that information to y'all. But all right, y'all. So let's move forward. We will see. What happens with that, and we will be keeping updated on that. All right, so let's talk about in good old 2020 cancel culture fashion. Okay, how the young Black Panther and something Axe. I don't know. Y'all know I don't really watch TV like that. But Letitia Wright, y'all may remember her. I think her name was like Suri or Shuri in Black Panther. She was like T'Challa's younger sister, who is now said to, I think, going to like move up and taking over the Black Panther series as it goes on since Chadwick Boseman's passing. But recently she came under fire on Twitter because she reposted a video of someone that had some concerns dealing with the COVID vaccinations. So let's take a look at this article. This is according to US Today, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit. Okay. Black Panther star Letitia Wright tweets controversial vaccine video saying she's being canceled. Letitia Wright is in hot water after she posted a video that questions whether people should take a COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available. The Black Panther actress, 27, shared the video on her Twitter account Thursday, along with a praying hands emoji. By Friday, the video was removed. In the hour-long video from the YouTube channel On the Table, the host says he doesn't know if he's going to take the vaccines. Others were quick to respond to the post. Actor Alex Sawyer wrote, "This is frustratingly this is a frustratingly irresponsible use of a platform. This was filled with hyperbole and zero evidence for his hot takes," some user described. "Cancel Black Panther 2 immediately," referring to the upcoming Marvel sequel to the Oscar-nominated 2018 superhero film. So you can see this is Letitia here. One reply even caught Wright's attention. The concerns read, "Any vaccine," this was her response, "any vaccine are understandable, but we must work as a team, take this vaccine and this is the comment that caught her attention and she responded. "Any vaccine are understandable, but we must work as a team, take this vaccine, and put this pandemic behind us for good." User Amazing Junior 87 wrote, "I sincerely hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, and please reconsider your stance on this matter. You're making people upset. Because of course, if you're making people upset, you should just stop talking." Wright responded, "Not my intention to make anyone upset, nor am I saying don't take it. I'm just concerned about what's in it. That's all. Isn't that a fair question to ask?" Wright later tweeted a statement about the backlash. "If you don't conform to popular opinions, but ask questions and think for yourself, you get canceled," with a laughing emoji. Now, Letitia later deleted all of her social media. She even had Don Cheadle coming after her saying, "Never defend anybody posting this. Jesus just scrolled through hot garbage. Every time I stopped and listened, he and everything he said sounded crazy and effed up," Cheadle wrote. "I would never defend anybody posting this, but I still won't throw her away over it. The rest I'll take off Twitter. Had no idea." All right. So this is a young lady here that obviously couldn't take the heat that she was receiving after her statements on it wasn't even a statement. It wasn't even a statement. She literally reposted this guy's video with no context that she added other than praying hands. Now, her statement, I want to read this again. She said, what did she say? Where is it? She said, "If you don't conform to popular opinions, but ask questions and think for yourself, you get canceled." This is what she said before deleting her account. This is where we are in 2020. If you are a young woman, well, not even a young woman, if you're anybody, particularly a celebrity that goes against the Hollywood script created for you, you will be bullied. You will be possibly canceled. You will be harassed. This is a very annoying, and it's a terrible, terrible precedent that we have created. I don't know why people will want to live in an echo chamber where we don't question things. It's even more ridiculous to me, considering all of the things, the historical things that have happened even up to recently, where the government has completely failed us, and we know that the government is absolutely in cahoots with big pharma. We know that they are in cahoots with a lot of the people that do the medical research and the top scientists. And to live in a world where you can't even question, people are it's so nauseating. It's so annoying, okay? As being a small YouTuber, I've dealt with my fair share of backlash and harassing and attempting to bully, because you can't bully me. I can't be bullied, right? But people have absolutely attempted to troll me. And for what? For what reason? First of all, do you think that your trolling is actually going to change my position without trying to present some type of opposing view? I think this social media thing gets to a lot of people's head, right? I absolutely adore my supporters, and I have people, particularly most of the people in this chat right now, that I've made genuine connections with online, and I've had the chance to, some of them even meet in person because of what I do, right? However, I don't ever want people to mistake that, particularly for people. I don't have a clue who you are. You just may not agree with this one post. You may not agree with this one video. You come out of the woodworks trolling me, social media, and not even me, just anybody. Social media has created this idea that we're so connected that we have to share in each other's opinions, beliefs, values, and that's just absolutely not the case. These people don't know you. Letitia Wright does not know y'all. She doesn't freaking know you. So why should she take on the burden of your opinions and your beliefs? For what reason? And then combine that with all of the historical things to show that this government and even medical practices, particularly when it comes to Black people, has been very malicious and oftentimes has failed. So, rightfully so, people have trust issues. These are recorded historical events. Today, I posted a video on my timeline. Y'all make sure y'all are following me over at Instagram, RhondaMary Vids, a video about the Tuskegee experiment that wasn't that long ago. I need people to understand that. That wasn't that long ago. The actual experiment didn't even stop until about 1972, when somebody blew the whistle, when a whistleblower came forward. That is not that long ago. So this happened within your grandparents and your parents' time. Not only that, um what was there? There was a recent it wasn't super recent, but it might have been around that same time. There was a vaccination that came out, and you had hundreds of thousands of people negatively impacted by it. I'm going to actually post this on my Instagram probably tomorrow. But one lady was talking about, some of y'all may know, and let me know the vaccination that I'm talking about because I can't remember off the top of my head at this very second. But one lady was talking about like losing basically the use of her limbs after taking this vaccination. And people were just, passing it off as this great thing at the moment, right? But you have these real humans having to deal with the aftermath. Okay, even if we're looking at asbestos, if we're looking at the little powder that y'all used to put in babies' diapers, if we're looking at cigarettes, the effect of cigarettes on the lungs, and different things like this, there over time, there has been so many examples of the truth of some of these things that we were being told, oh, it's okay. Just do this. You'll be fine. It's approved by this authority. Polio, I think that's what it was. Thank you. It's been approved by this authority, and time goes on and we find out, in fact, these things are harmful. Okay. I have personally been affected by doctors pushing unnecessary procedures, attempting to push unnecessary procedures and medications on me. I've been personally affected by that, right? And other people have also had their own experiences. Other people have had their own experiences, right? Even I haven't talked about this publicly, but just recently, me losing my aunt from a freaking botched surgery. Okay, a botched surgery. The doctors knew they did it and said nothing. Entire time, she and the family think she's dying from cancer. But in fact, she's dying from a botched surgery that the doctors knew about and failed to even alert my family. So I would never, ever allow anybody to bully me in any type of way of anything that I feel when it comes to any type of medical practices. I've also recently, I talked about this, as we've seen these stats come out about, Black women dying at these high rates while giving birth. I've been studying and researching more into things like natural birth and actually going back to a lot of the ways of our ancestors. And people also need to realize the money in medicine and the connection to people like, I believe it was a Rockefellers, a lot of names that are not coming to me right now, okay? But a lot of these big key players that would be funding certain medical practices, right? Getting behind certain things and working with these politicians to push these things forward. Now, can I absolutely with certainty say that this is what's happening with the current COVID vaccination? No, I cannot say that, but can you with absolutely certainty say that it is not? So these are things to think about. Even the fact that you have a vaccination court, right? Where you have these things kind of being done secretly, and it's no real way to hold these companies accountable, and these things are not being talked about specifically. They're not going to be talked about by your mainstream media, because it's just not in the best interest of the machine. So combined with all this, the Rothschilds, thank you, Bodega. The Rothschilds are another family. Maybe that's who I was trying to think of earlier, not Rockefeller. I think maybe also, but Rockefeller also may have been on my mind because I was looking at some stuff with the U.S. Department of Education a couple of days ago. But you have a lot of these billionaire, millionaire families that are funding. Look at Bill Gates, right? Like, and it's crazy to me that the eat the rich, I hate capitalism, people are not showing up, when to me, it makes the most sense to show up. But hey, I mean, who cares about consistency in days like this, you know? So we'll save that for another day. But it's just a lot going on. And so to try to bully people into your beliefs, telling people what they should not talk about, what they should not question, what they should not post, is really annoying, and it's really ridiculous. All things considering. Okay? It's really ridiculous. Not only that, your own freaking people overseeing the vaccinations don't know what the heck is going on. They don't even know. The scientists, the people, the heads of the companies working on these vaccinations don't even know. And so people rather get mad at a celebrity who has questions and doubts, when your own chairman's Dr. Fauci is sitting here telling y'all, we don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out as we go on. And you have a problem with a regular citizen questioning that? Maybe y'all don't believe me. I always show y'all. I got my receipts. This is according to MSN.com. Pfizer chairman says it's not clear whether people who are vaccinated can still spread COVID-19. Pfizer's CEO said it's not clear if the company's coronavirus vaccine will no longer be able to spread the virus to other people. I think this is something that needs to be examined. We are not certain about that right now with what we know. Independent researchers have already made it clear that the trials used to test the vaccine did not examine its effects on transmission. They're literally sitting here telling y'all they didn't even test for that. They didn't test for that. They tested, they said, take this. They gave the placebo. They gave the vaccination. They said, take this. Call us if you feel sick. They were looking for symptoms to the vaccine. They have not tested transmission. So this is wild, man. This is like, I don't know if people really understand the depth of this, right? So think about it. If they keep saying, oh, let's just take the vaccine, we're getting the vaccine, we're going to get you the vaccine, and you literally don't even know if the virus still transmits. So you're basically attempting to cure people of symptoms, that majority of people are asymptomatic. Majority of people have the lesser of symptoms. I could not make this up if I tried. This is like a horror movie. This makes absolutely no sense. Anybody with any level of intuition or basic common sense or even just the seeking of truth should be able to read this, hold it up against everything we've been told recently, and just simply be able to say, this makes no sense. The U.S. could approve Pfizer's vaccine on December 10th. It is already approved in the UK. The chairman of Pfizer said it's not clear whether people who have taken a company's coronavirus vaccine will still be able to spread the virus to other people. Albert Bourla told NBC's Dateline the more studies had to be done into whether someone who had been vaccines could still transmit the coronavirus. Host Lester Holt asked, even though I had the protection, am I still able to transmit it to other people? He responded, I think this is something that needs to be examined. We are not certain about that right now with what we know. So people are freaking mad at Letitia Wright, this young lady. People are mad at Letitia Wright, want to cancel Letitia Wright, talking about canceling the next Black Panther, talking about her opinion, which really wasn't even an opinion, right? She reposted somebody else's video. You have people that are mad at Letitia Wright, and you're not freaking mad at Pfizer. You're not mad at your scientists. You're not mad at these vaccination scientists and experts who are, this seems like a failure to me. You are getting ready to literally roll out a vaccination that y'all are telling us. They're telling us every opportunity that they get that they're still learning and they don't even have all the answers. And y'all want regular citizens to put their faith into this, particularly citizens who may have been affected by ill medical practices. I call that foolishness. These people, and at this point, if you line up, if you are one of the first people in line for this vaccination, when they're telling you straight out, we don't even know all the side effects. We don't know if you're still going to transmit this. It's a free country. I wish you the best. Researchers who were not involved in the vaccine's development already highlighted how the company's trials and those run by other companies producing coronavirus vaccines did not assess whether the vaccine affects how the virus spread. So if it doesn't affect how the virus spreads, how does this fix mostly anything with the lockdowns? Right? Because all the fear is about the spread. Oh, you're spreading it. You're killing people's grandmas. You may be asymptomatic. They're literally telling you, we're going to give you this vaccine. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. No sense. Not even a little bit. So they're sitting here telling you, these are the things we've learned so far, y'all. I can't make it up. These are the things we've learned so far. It's about a 95% success rate for the vaccination. And even with that, you are most likely going to get the same symptoms if you would have just got the virus. Yes, you're going to get the symptoms. Okay. I covered this, I think, last week. And then you still may potentially transmit the virus. How does this not sound absolutely ridiculous to anybody listening? How does that not sound absolutely ridiculous? And I am only presenting to y'all. I am not making things up. I don't give y'all some made up numbers or theories. This is coming directly from the chairman's mouth and the people working on the vaccination. I show y'all what they are saying. This is not secondhand information. I didn't pull up a YouTuber. I didn't retweet something like Letitia Wright. Straight from the horse's mouth, right? Not only that, let's look at your boy Fauci. Fauci is basically saying the same thing here because I let me find a clip here. Here we go. Because I want y'all to know straight from their mouth. I use a lot of clips. I usually use articles with direct quotes. All right, let's see here. Let's share this. Oops.
If the vaccine only protects me from getting sick, but I could still be a carrier and bring the virus home with me, then I have to stay isolated anyway to protect a family member who cannot be vaccinated.
What about that, Dr. Patrick? Well, I think what the caller did was answer a question that someone just did a few minutes ago, which is the reason why that even though we get vaccinated, you still want to, until the level of virus in community is so low, you want to do some things like wearing a mask. But let's get to specifically what she's asking. The answer is that we know that the vaccine is 95% effective in preventing you from getting sick. We don't know yet. It could be, I hope it is, but we don't know if it's protecting you against infection. If it doesn't protect you against infection, it's likely that the degree of immunity that you have is going to diminish the level.
Y'all, I literally thought, I could be totally wrong, but I literally thought that that's the difference between vaccination and medication. I thought, let me know if y'all thought this too, because now this is just throwing me for a loop. I thought vaccination was to protect you from receiving something, right? Like getting the virus, and medication was to help you recover from the virus. So what
a virus in your nasopharynx, and even though you might be infected, it is likely, not proven yet, but likely that it would be very less likely that you are going to transmit it. So you could get infected, but the level of virus is so low in you, A, you don't get sick, and B, you have a very low likelihood you're going to spread it to other people. Although we don't have that answer now, as we get more and more information from the trials, we will get that answer for you.
Like, do y'all hear how they talk in circles? It hasn't been proven yet, but it's probably less likely, but we don't have those answers yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we find out. I only listen to what they say. I haven't put any words in his mouth, him, nor the chairman over there at Pfizer. They're telling y'all straight out, like, we don't even know. They keep telling us this vaccine could be coming any day now, yet they don't even know. This is very akin to the lockdown measures, the overreaching lockdown measures that have put millions of people out of jobs, and these people still don't know. You have people talking about, and some people doing, I think in California, more lockdowns after the first lockdowns didn't work, and you honestly believe that people are going to be more willing to lock down than when people were actually scared and didn't know what was going on, didn't know what to expect, didn't really know anybody that had the virus, may not have experienced the virus. You really think this lockdown is actually going to be more successful? And then don't even get me started on the fact of how they want you to not go around your family for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but they're totally okay if you pack out the restaurants and the stores with your holiday shopping the day after or the day before. So this is the Pfizer chairman and Dr. Fauci telling you right out of their own mouths things that when you sit there and think about with your God-given common sense makes no sense. And to try to even attempt to try to counsel, bully, harass, troll anybody that would have any questions about this. Why? For what reason? And so, like, I just don't put blind faith in officials, because the more I've learned, the more I paid attention, the more I've turned off the news and started actually reading everything for myself, the more I focus on the actual words coming out of these experts' mouth, the more I just see corruption, coercion. I see all of the money that plays into a lot of the things that are pushed on us. And it's really concerning. It's really concerning. And I want to be clear. I feel like if you feel convicted, if you feel convicted to rush and go get this vaccine as soon as it comes off the line, I want you to have the choice to do so, right? But what I don't want is people that don't want to do it, that have no interest in doing it, being bombarded, being talked over, being told that their opinion or their thoughts don't matter. And the more I'm learning is it seems that, and I say progressiveness, and I that may not be the right thing of me to do or connect this to. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll think on it later. But it appears to be a lot of progressiveness and council culture actually has to do with control, which seems to me to be backwards. It's nothing freeing or accepting or diverse about trying to shut people up, not wanting people to talk, not wanting people to think freely or have their own opinions, not even wanting people to have their own questions, their own doubts, their own emotions. And honestly, y'all, like, at some point, it used to, like, bother me. But now I think I've gotten somewhat to, and even more so getting to a point where I'm really like, screw a lot of people. And when I say that, I don't mean like, I mean it in a way is of that I just really don't care what a lot of people have to say. Not in the fact that I don't think that what people think is valid, but when it comes to a way of just bullying or wanting to shut people up, or somebody brought this up earlier in the comments, they said how somebody called Candace Owens like a nappy headed, you know what, and even that, right? Like, my thing is, if you don't agree with people, because I for certain don't agree with everybody, and I let y'all know when I don't agree with. But one thing I've learned just about people in general, as I've gotten a chance to like travel, meet people, connect with some of y'all, connect with people that are like completely different from me, live different lifestyles from me, may have different, beliefs from me. But oftentimes talking to people one-on-one, I found that even though we may not agree on everything, sometimes it's very easy for me to find a common ground with people that are actually interested in finding common ground. Like, I'm not a jerk. I'm not a mean person. Y'all don't see me like as much. And like, don't get it twisted. Some of these people I think are super evil and nefarious. And even with that, I never go out of my way to call people out of their names. I don't talk about people's appearances. I don't try to like be cutthroat or go like attempt to hurt people's feelings. Like, y'all never see me do any of that. I attack people, and I wouldn't even use the word attack, but I challenge people on what they say, their actual views, their opinions. So if I don't agree with you, I'm going to say why, and I'm going to make it clear, but I'm not going to make it about the way you dress. It's not going to be about your hair. I'm not going to say anything about your child. I'm not going to bully you and try to counsel you. I'm not going to try to harass you. And I'm probably not even going to say anything bad about you unless you say something bad about me first. Then, I mean, hey, it's game on. It's just fair game at that point, right? But, this culture that, oh, if you don't agree with me, you just should shut up. You should just not talk at all. This is a misguided way to use your platform. According to who? Some people will agree. Some people will be open to it. Some people may be inquisitive and still do their own thing, which people should be doing their own thing in the first place. And so this goes back to an even larger discussion that I always talk about, even with my entertainers and our leaders teas that are available in my link below, right? But even this belief that entertainers, celebrities should not be able to just simply say what they want because, oh, everybody's looking up to you. You're a voice of reason. It's like they just a person that landed an acting gig. Like, some people, whether it's a rapper, singer, actor, these people a lot of them just want to do their job and be a person, be human, not have to be robotic, not have to go on anyone's script. And how unfair of us to tell them that they have to be reduced to a shell because of the line of work they do. That they're not allowed to say, or they must be censored, or they must self-censor because of the line of work they do. Ad hominems. Thank you, Bruce. That's what I was trying to think of. Bruce says, sorry I'm late, didn't get the notification. But again, this vaccine is just a way to get big pharma billions and a part of the Great Reset. I mentioned this, I think last week or the week before, even though I haven't showed the video, but it's very accessible on YouTube. If y'all search for the Great Reset, you have panelists. I believe this is in the UK, but whatever this organization is, it is backed by hundreds of like millionaires and elitists and business people all over the world. And they're talking about the Great Reset, right? The new normal. And some of the things they wish to accomplish during this time, which in some ways to me looks like a hostile global takeover, because it's basically like, oh, while people are weak and vulnerable and suffering, let's introduce all of this stuff that we can't just get passed on a normal day through legislation. That's what it appears to be to me. Bruce said, love how they're worried about the long-term effects of getting COVID with no evidence, yet not worried about the effects of a rush vaccine. That is such a good point. That is such a good point. And like I said, it's so much that they don't know. And they're telling us, so people, and this is something I've been saying lately. Y'all remember how like a lot of things used to be like, people would say it's like theory, it's like conspiracy theory, like only certain people know about this and this and that. Now there are videos of these people saying these things blatantly on camera. They'll be at a conference. They'll be like, oh yeah, the Great Reset. Oh yeah, the dark winter is coming. Oh yeah, what's it called? The New World Order. Oh yeah, we don't know how the heck these vaccinations work, but we trying to get most of the population vaccinated. I mean, it's just so much that they come out and just, and honestly, it really proves that we're in a sad state of affairs, because when you really think about it, they're so blatant and it's a slap in the face. They have no respect for the citizens. And I honestly believe that at this point, they think they can bully. They can bully us. Because how else could you be so blatant, say these things on camera, and it's like, oh, well, it's not even like this stuff is not even conspiracy at this point. It's coming right out of the politician mouths, the scientists' mouths, of vaccination makers. But I guess when you have such a huge part of the population that is completely under some type of spell, under some type of hypnosis, I don't know what it is, that are willing to blindly defend you, pledge their allegiance to you, fight and bully and harass people on your behalf, I guess you can say and do anything that you want. The way some of these people are willing to snitch and try to fight over some of this stuff, lose friends. Like, these politicians really know you, and mostly they actually care about you in real life. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. And that level of allegiance is scary. And that level of allegiance to any government sponsored, government funded agency is weird to me. Weird. I mean, just absolutely. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Bruce said, talk about blatant. A grill and saloon in LA was forced to shut down their outdoor dining, yet in their same parking lot, Mayor Garcetti approved a movie studio, outdoor dining. Little guy screwed. Absolutely. And people that still believe this is actually about safety, like y'all can't, it's no time. I don't care if we talking about in my lifetime, if we're talking about Hurricane Katrina, if we're talking about 9/11, if we're taking it back to the Tuskegee experiment, if we're taking it back to whatever, like I'm trying to think of the time when it was actually about safety. Like I'm really trying to think about that time. And that time is not coming to mind. It's just not. And the crazy part about it is, man, like on a lot of levels, it's so much evil still going on within the government. And people assume because they see diverse faces or they see young faces that for some reason things have changed, but they have not. They absolutely have not. The tactics have changed. The tactics have changed, but a lot of the evilness, the a lot of this stuff is just the same. Slimactus said, evil always going to be here. And that's one thing that I be wanting people to also realize is because this is why I've been talking and getting more into the idea of small government, even though at this point that may absolutely be a pipe dream. But one particular reason why I think it would be better as opposed to what we see now as a continually expanding government is the fact that human nature is going to always exist. I don't care how you try to flip it, dice it. I don't care. I don't care if you're in a small tribe or you're in a huge country. Okay. Human nature is going to always exist, even as proof of this, right? Whether you believe in the Bible or not, the Bible being an old book, right, is just one example. Along with we can be talking about Shakespeare. We can be talking about whatever. All of these books, even from way back when, show the different dynamics of human nature, right? Which with human nature, yes, you have a lot of good that comes. Oftentimes, people can be friendly and loving and caring. But also with human nature, you have jealousy, greed, gluttony. You know what I mean? Like basically the 7 deadly sins, right? You have a lot of this that some people have a lot of, and some people experience these different levels of human nature at different times. And when you throw all these people in control of our money, because that's what it is, we're funding these people through our taxes, right? When you put these people in control and tell them they have this much power to the extent that they think that they can stop you from working and putting food on your table, and people really don't want to accept the levels of corruption that can exist in these facets, it just makes no sense to me. And a lot of, I believe, progressiveness pushes this idea that people are inherently people are inherently good and kind and happy. But that's not true, and it's not the full human experience. And anybody, I particularly believe anybody that could believe that hasn't babysat, for example. Okay, you could put two children in a room with a toy. I've seen this happen on several occasions. You could put two small children, I'm talking like 2, 3 years old. They could grow up, be in a very loving, wholesome environment with even limited not limited access, right, to like other people. So let's say they're mostly under the care of their like direct family at this age. You could put these two kids in a room, put the one toy there, and you would have the kids literally fighting over the toy, right? So that's some level, there could be some level of jealousy, greed, right? Don't want to share. They haven't directly been taught these things, but it just appears as human nature, right? And then in adulthood, you put that with the government and also people's human nature. You add that on top of this money and these organizations like Big Pharma and all of these other organizations, the oil industry, the car industry, whatever type of industry you could think of that could line their pockets or a favor for a favor. And to think you could put all these people in a position and not continue to have some level of this outcome is just, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's not realistic at all. I just don't even see how that's something to shoot for. So, and also I think that was one of my even bigger problems with the idea of mandatory vaccinations, because this idea that we just like the government has that control over us, that much control to the extent where you can literally tell us what to inject in our bodies. A government that can literally tell you, that can mandate what you should put in your body. How anybody could not think that that's too much level of control? That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. But anyway, y'all. So hopefully at some point Letitia Wright will be coming back to social media. Hopefully y'all haven't scared her off too bad. I felt a little bad for her because, like I said, I remember like one of my earlier videos where I got a lot of backlash, and after it took me like some time to be like how to navigate this, but then after that I was like, man, they got an opinion, so I can have mine too. Y'all ain't quiet, so why I gotta be quiet about what I think? That's crazy. I'm not doing that. No. So yeah, that's that. And I can't be bullied. I just whatever at this point. Because one thing about me, you can think what you want to think. I am not going to disrespect you as long as you don't disrespect me. That's how that's going to go. Sir Brucey said, no vaccine for me. I spent 3 years being healthy. No cold, no flu. Don't need their dirty vaccines. So let me tell you. So when I was growing up, I'm gonna tell this story and then I'm gonna go, y'all. But when I was growing up, my mom would never let my sister, my brother, or I take the flu vaccine. Like, we just never took it. We just never took it. Always denied it when they would take us to the doctor and things like this. So once my sister became a teacher, they mandated the flu vaccination. They mandated the flu vaccination by her teaching in the school district. Every single time since then, every year after that, she got the flu. Every single year after taking the flu vaccination, after over 20 years of never having the flu, even as a little kid, baby, rolling around on the ground, picking stuff up, putting it in your mouth, hanging around little other snotty nosed kids, over 20 years, never got the flu. The moment you take the flu, you got the flu, I think 2-3 years back to back to back now. The crazier part to me, I literally had somebody, a medical professional. I saw this experience because this is my sister. I saw this experience with my own eyes. But you're going to tell me that my opinion on this, based on what I saw with my sister, is not valid because the only reason she got the flu just happened, just coincidence, happened to get the flu after the 3 years of taking the flu vaccination was because, oh, she was going to get it anyway. It's just just mere coincidence. This is the level of thinking and mental gymnastics that we're up against. I read a really good quote today. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Man, I hope I can find it. It was really good. It said, I can't find it. And I can't quite remember. Anyway, sorry about that. It was kind of going in line with what I was saying. But all right, y'all, before I get out of here, thank y'all so much for always rocking with me every Tuesday. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and click the link below. Let me shout out my VIP patrons, Daniel, Michael Ray, and Ray Ray. Thank y'all so much. To everyone supporting my Patreon content, thank y'all so much. I do have some new stuff that I am going to be loading over there. It's just been super busy, but thank y'all so much. I have not forgotten about y'all. I am going to be uploading stuff over there as well. So thank you so much to my patrons. Thank you to everyone that has bought a mug or a t-shirt. If you would like to purchase those are also in my link below. I always enjoy talking to y'all, and I hope y'all have a good night. Bye.